All right, we're back, and thanks for staying with us. And it's Crossfire with Dapo and Ishama. We have two very erudite guests on the studio. In the studio with us and on set, and we will be running the show with them. There are no other but very regular guests on the show. And first on the list this morning, thank you, gentlemen, for making our time. I appreciate that. I need to just continue to say that because it's not easy to leave the mainland to come all the way, to our studio in Victoria Island. Let's meet Chief Larry Eminike. Chief Larry, good to have you on the set this morning.
It's my pleasure.
Yeah, and then we have another gentleman. He's a chartered accountant and a political analyst and a social commentator, Lester Wilkos. Mr. Wilkos, good to have you on our
It's my esteemed pleasure.
All right, gentlemen.
We'll keep doing this
until we see the change.
For national interests.
Okay.
So whatever,
for the love of Nigeria.
whatever discomfort we get in the morning coming to do this, it's nothing compared to national interest.
Thank you so very much, gentlemen. All right, let's quickly take your thoughts on some of these stories making headlines. And yesterday, as usual, statutory meeting of the Federal Executive Council. Last week's own was actually cancelled for one reason or the other. Peradventure, the president was, ate a lot of, ram during the Salah festival and stayed back in Daura.
He had official to attend to
in Daura. Okay. Since you also, Ishoma believe very strongly that the president can work from anywhere. He can be in Daura, and because the rats in the country, the rats in Ato Rock are still being chased, and maybe they are not fully out.
Are you one of the rat chasers?
No, obviously not.
Great.
Now, the federal government says it is pleased with Nigerians encouraging GDP. Gentlemen, I need to take your thoughts. And don't forget, it's your opinion. Is Nigeria really and truly out of recession? Chief Larry.
Thank you very much. I think the reality always speaks for itself. I don't want to go into the nitty-gritty of a recession or whether we are out or we are in. But I think the average Nigerian knows what he wants. He knows where he's coming from. He knows where we are today. And I think he knows better. But I think if we want to go by the reality of the day, whether anybody wants to put up anything or the other, I think an average Nigerian is not taking it. I don't think he's getting it right as at this moment. There is so much poverty in the land. There is so much agitation across board, which you can still, clearly shows that all things are not well, or things are not fine. So when I heard that we are out of recession, I need to take it with a pinch of salt, because there is this question we usually ask ourselves: if you say it's well, how? You understand? So for me, how well? Thank you very much, Isema. So I think the reality of the time is that it's not well, as far as Nigeria economic-wise and any other way you can put it. But we are just being hopeful. We are looking at the things. Let us see how it plays out. That is how.
Yeah, but Chief Larry, a lot of analysis has been given concerning the, going by the figures and statistics that are in the public domain. Everything seems to be pointing out that the decimals is actually pointing to the fact that Nigeria has, come out of recession. And that's why I throw that question to you, going by, a lot of analysis and people. The statistician general came out, to give us the figures and analyze what we have at the moment compared to when recession was initially announced. And everything is pointing to the fact that the GDP is looking good. The decimals is, they are pointing up, upwards.
And we hope also that it maintains that upward, movement.
Okay, let's take comment on that from Alex.
Thank you very much. For me, I had never believed Nigeria was in recession at any point in time, because I know that statistics do not really capture the entirety, our depth of statistics, and the way we run our business, our life has never shown that we've had accurate statistics. But if we take what the government figures are saying, it is somebody at some time sat down and they announced that Nigeria GDP was low. and the whole gamut of society, oh, we're in recession, we're dying, Nigerians are dying on the streets every day, we're dying, we're hungry, we're in recession. Now, that same person that came up after 6 months or thereabout and come and tell you, we're out of recession. You don't say, no, we are not, because the figures never told us what's the reality. So where do we stand? We prefer the bad news. And I don't know why we are so inclined to the bad news. And when the good news comes, we felt we have not, because the bad news is what we want to hear, we keep wanting to bear the bad news. I remember when the US was in recession, nothing changed in the life of the average American. It's just that the funny thing is that their GDP was low. People still travel to the US, people, they hold big deals, and I keep telling people something. It was when Spain was in recession that Ronaldo was bought for 100 million pounds by Real Madrid. That was at the peak of Spain.
Maybe a sector of the
Spain,
economy.
No, what I'm saying, at the peak of Spain recession. So recession does not mean that everybody is poor.
No, but in Nigeria, it has a negative.
No,
negative in the sense that inflation doubles or triples.
I know where you're going. Inflation and recession are two different things.
Okay.
And that is what analysts and those of us who come on TV has failed to educate the people.
Okay.
Look, if you tell me unemployment is a direct function of recession, but not inflation. And I've made this point clear in so many places. Inflation, cost of inflation are different. In Nigeria, is even worse because there are the unseen market forces, which I call the greed force, the psychological force, and the other non-economic force that drive inflation in Nigeria.
Okay.
Mere pronouncement, the movement of the dollar, they are all
stimulus.
They don't have anything to do with economic. I mean, with GDP and economic recession. So if you are taking inflation, then I will tell us that Nigeria has been in perpetual recession. Because
I mean, much money has always.
Because I remember,
bought
and I fell back to when Abacha was holding sweet. I bought a bag of rice then 1,000 naira, 1,200 naira. So if, as at the time, if we said inflation, cost of living, standard of living is the measure of recession, then from that time, when I started buying a bag of rice, till when I bought it, as at the time Jonathan was leaving government at about 12,000 naira, then we have always been in perpetual recession. So if I agree to the fact that Nigerians are not having, we've never had it good.
Okay.
When I went to university, that's when 101 formula and 001 formula was in place. I'm sure that, but you didn't school in Nigeria, but if you did,
who told you I didn't school?
Okay, I'm sure you are one of those 001 or 101 formula.
Yeah.
It's a recession.
So but for student life, I mean, you probably, lectures probably take you off 1 or 2 minutes.
Yes, we've never had a country where everybody had a 3 square meal. I've never had a country where money drops from the sky.
I need to take a reaction so that we can move on. Let me quickly take a reaction.
So if Kane comes out and said we are out of recession, let's take it that we're out of recession. If you say we're in recession, we're in recession.
Okay. Chief Larry.
I think basically we need to be honest with ourselves here. Because when we talk about during the time of Abacha, you know, how dollar was 1 naira or whatever, or 1.5, we should also put it
83 naira, just to correct it, 83 naira.
That I'm saying what you said here. I'm not.
No, okay, I said not dollar, I said rice. Rice.
No, the first statement about dollar.
I said rice, a bag of rice.
Foreign exchange.
I don't even mention foreign exchange.
Okay. So I think basically what I'm saying in essence is this. It's as a result of bad management of the economy. You know what happened during the time of Abacha. You see, that is what triggers some of those things you see. It doesn't matter maybe where we are coming from. What matters is when you get there, where are we? You know, as a result of your bad management, as a result of bad policies, you saw the policy somersault and so many other things that triggered where we are. As at then, you understand me? You know, then dollar was around 197, you know, and all the rest at a stage overnight, you know, Nigeria started buying dollars at the range of 500 naira, 400 and something naira. You know, so I'm not in doubt that there was a time, you know, there was Nigeria, the cost of living, bag of rice was 50 naira, you understand me, or 1 naira. But anytime you saw such, you know, that spike in some of those,
especially in commodity prices,
it goes to show that something is wrong somewhere. So that is the point Nigerians are making. You understand me? So going back to Egypt or trying to know how much they were selling something in Egypt before we left Egypt, I don't think for me it makes sense.
Okay, let me say this. Hold on, Mr. Lester. Hold on. I have a question for you.
Let us put the facts truthfully.
Exactly. I have a question. I have a question for you. Yes, I have a question for you. A lot of school of thought are beginning to put side by side the policies of the last administration compared to what we have today. And I'm beginning to wonder if really and truly we have enough facts out there that is, giving us a comparative, analysis of what obtained during the last administration and what we have right now. Now, when you compare both administration, how would you because that is an immediate past administration.
Yes, if you compare you're only trying to compare pawpaw to orange, because there was even no policy. What was happening then was the fact that there was this spendthrift and defender of the naira. And Sanusi was saying it. He defended the naira to the point that because Nigeria had enough in there, enough
now, how come Nigerians are saying they prefer that administration to what is happening right now?
Corruption.
No Nigerian will tell you he preferred that administration because except somebody will tell you that he does not know what he's talking about. And nobody will tell you he preferred that because a administration that made so much money and filtered that same money within that same period cannot be said to be preferred. I was talking to somebody, when I come back from Port Harcourt the other day, when the boss and said, people say money was flowing. I have always lived a life that I've always worked, earned my money, either through business or through employment.
The fact that they didn't pay you, the fact that there was no current towards you doesn't mean a lot of other people didn't.
Spend my money, have savings, keep it aside, and when part time comes, I refer back to that. Now, the guy said, yes, that was an ideal, but that people carry money, come to communities, share money. And that was money flowing. And I said, good. He said, that was a good system.
What if most of the monies were invested? I know a lot of people were building. One of the ways that Nigerian money, one of the things Nigerian money was particularly used for.
Unproductive money. No, that will put it right. Unproductive money.
Okay.
Look, if you have money that is productive, that money does not filter away. Now, if you have money that you generate assets and you used to build, now, that you are building from your profit or from your interest or whatever. Okay. You're not building for the capital. But when you take a capital and dump it to building, and then the building is not productive because the building cannot be sold, it cannot be converted to cash, and then when that source of not productive money ceases, you're going to problem. Okay. Because
take a pause.
That asset is not productive. Okay. But if you have a productive investment that you put money into, even if that money is acquired legally, it's into a productive investment. It is into business that is generating, that's creating employment. Yes. No matter the storm, you are still with
There's a cushion.
But when you put into a dump asset, which many people did, go to the Ikoyi. Ikoyi now is dotted with skyscrapers that are not taking it.
Let's take another.
So those are the issues. So don't compare it.
It's your opinion.
I think basically we need to be honest with ourselves here because one, when we talk about unproductive money or maybe defense of the naira, I still believe that policy that was criticized before by this government, at least they are working on it, they've adapted it, and they are using it now.
They will never adapt it.
What is happening now is that government continues to inject funds. And that was what he was talking about, defense of the naira during the last administration, and it's still ongoing. And again, when you talk about unproductive funds, I ask myself, if a government as of today, you celebrate TSA, Treasury single accounts, and as for almost 24 months till now, that funds has not been audited. I don't know whether that money is redundant somewhere or what they are using it or where they are using it to do, whatever they are using to do.
But the issue shouldn't be, is TSA effective, yes or no? Is there an accountability process?
What accountability when you, for 24 months, you have not audited an account? You say accountability. Who is accountable to who?
Yeah, but the last administration initiated TSA.
But it did not use it.
And they were taking it in phases.
No, and they did not use it. The last administration did not use it.
No, excuse me.
Can I educate the listeners on TSA?
Excuse me.
Can I educate the listeners?
Excuse me.
Let's not come here and bamboozle the...
Excuse me.
This is the problem with this listeners.
Excuse me. You know, the fact of the matter is that Nigerians know what is happening. If you are talking about a TSA that we got information even from those that are managing it that has at 24 months, it has not been audited, and you have used it for more than 24 months, I don't know what you are talking about. Again, let us not play to the gallery here. The fact of the matter is speaking for itself. The reality is that, one, I don't think we have any economy now. I don't think anybody is managing our economy. Because if for a fact, few days, you understand, somebody will come up with the information to Nigerians that as at this moment, you understand that the stamp duty that Nigerians are losing, Nigeria is losing almost trillions on stamp duty, unaccounted for. I don't know where we are going. You see, sometimes I don't play to the gallery. You understand? I want to put the facts the way they are. You understand? People can have their words with their rhetoric or whatever they want to do, or bamboos, if they use that word. But the fact of the matter is that the information we are getting as Nigerians, as intelligent people in Nigeria, is not palatable. There's nothing, there's no justification whatsoever. Anybody can give me that you have a TSA that has been running, and for 24 months you have not audited it, and they made that outcry came out as a result that they know that something is wrong. Again, you have a stamp duty Nigeria is losing trillions on stamp duty. I don't think
can I come in here? When people come to seek, they think they can bamboozle the people with rhetorics.
No, that's not what we do.
That's the people that are talking about you're not stamp duty. How much do you get from that? It's not trillions. How much do you get?
That is the information
when the stamp duty starts.
Those information are in the public domain.
Trillion stamp duty.
Bring the paper yesterday. You see it.
You journalists.
What are we talking here?
You're not helping society. When certain people come here and make flamboyant statements, trillion in stamp duty alone. How much is the total collectible?
It was reported yesterday.
Lagos alone with all the gamut of tax collection in Lagos can never get a trillion. Do you know what's a trillion? Do you know what's a trillion? When people come on air and talk about
and nationwide, I'm speaking nationwide.
I'm coming. What is stamp duty? 5 naira you pay on transaction.
It's small.
And you think, how much does custom make? Custom that collects revenue from border. You come here and make unsubstantiated.
But I think you have laptop.
If you are telling me,
go to yesterday's newspaper now.
How much is total Nigerian income from oil?
That information is totally correct.
What are we doing?
When they go to Sun newspaper, and collect jobs. When they go to
don't even say that.
Sun newspaper and collect jobs. No, he can shout. That is his talking trade. When they go to Sun newspaper and another pseudo journalist and take paper, can't you reason? Lagos that collects all the kind of taxes. Have they gotten a trillion naira?
So address
you are talking of stamp duty alone. Now let's go to TSA.
Go to TSA.
TSA is a holding account. Okay. There is an Auditor General of Nigeria that audits every minister and parastatals. So if someone is commenting that TSA has not been audited, TSA is just a holding account where every collectible revenue goes into. Okay. And from that revenue, it is sent back to all the agencies. Now, I don't know where this gentleman is talking about his auditing. When the Auditor General of the country, of the Federation is there doing his work, when the National Assembly, the House of Oversight function, is there doing their work, so who is going to hold responsible? Does Buhari himself operate TSA?
No,
TSA is domiciled in the Central Bank of Nigeria and operated by the Prime Minister of Finance. Okay. People come here and they make unsuccessful statements.
So in your opinion, they are working?
Working. And my question. And that is why people are saying money is not more free.
I have a question.
That's why people are saying money is not more free because
I have a question for you.
Hold on. JAMB alone that has never remitted more than 3 million naira. Remitted 5 billion.
With the promise.
Okay, I have a question for you on stamp duty. I have a question for you on stamp duty. Now, the federal government came out, you know, not long ago to impose a 15 naira stamp duty on every bank transaction. Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, I'm saying that they fan it to flame, as in insisting that it has to be done.
Yeah.
Now, consider the humongous amount of money that are kept in people's accounts across all the banks in Nigeria.
Yeah. And you say trillion is small?
And we are saying that trillion is small?
What's a bank revenue does? How many bank has made from all sources? Has made the entire bank. Have they made up to $1 trillion?
Are you talking about now?
Do you know what $1 trillion?
No, yes, I do, sir.
You know what $1 trillion?
I do, sir. Yes.
Are you speaking in your professional capacity as an accountant?
Yes.
And you know what $1 trillion? Now
I
you take
saying,
50 kobo,
yes.
50 kobo per bank transaction.
Yes.
Even the banks that take 65 naira per ATM transaction, have they made $1 trillion naira?
You wouldn't know.
Oh.
You would not know. We're talking about daily transactions. Hold on, no. I am asking you questions for clarity. I'm asking you questions for clarity. This is figures here we are playing with.
There's no way a country can raise $1 trillion.
Excuse me.
In 1 year or in 2 years or forever.
Excuse me.
On stamp duty.
What are we talking about here?
Look.
What duration are we looking at here?
Federal revenues have
What duration are we looking
They will
at
take
here?
stamp duty on
What
documents.
duration are we looking at here, Mr. Lester? When you say
I don't
the
need
country
duration.
cannot
I can't
pay.
even think that in 2 years they can.
Okay.
That place is about a year old.
Excuse me.
That place is about a year old. That place is about a year old.
Mr. Lester, okay, let's take your reaction, Chief Larry.
Okay.
Give me a good figure, then I can start talking to you.
I think one thing is this.
You know what $1 trillion?
I don't believe that Nigerians are morons. We are wise people, and
we try to make them morons. That's what we try to do with our kind of analysis.
Let him finish. Let him finish.
I think the reality is that if somebody is telling me that 50 kobo to almost maybe how many Nigerians are using the banks, I think you do the multiplication here. If maybe 50 million, let us see how much is it. It's going to speak for itself. Again, the fact of the matter also is that when you look at about a few months back, we have this information that almost 7 banks or so made about 300 or something billion. You understand me? You know, maintenance, even the one that in my face now, we are still hearing it is still unfolding. 9 banks make 59.6 billion from account maintenance only. You understand me? So when you look at some of all these figures, I don't know what somebody's talking about that trillion.
Okay, let me put something in our space. No, Chief Larry, let me quickly put something in our space.
Let's come to my
Hold on, gentlemen and lady. September 11th, report from the Nation's newspaper. Okay. Have it that federal government loses trillions as stamp duty fee. Loses, yes.
Good.
As stamp duty fee.
Not collected.
Unremitted. And the analysis here is showing that when it comes to, stamp duty, we have, a short, not a shortfall. We have a shoot out or a shoot up in terms of the amount. The total amount is expected since 2015.
No.
Since 2015,
Good.
the report
by who
states
by who.
Nation newspaper.
The Nation newspaper reported it. Punch reported it.
Is that one of the stories you're talking about?
Who did the analysis?
Now, see.
Who did the analysis?
We are not here.
Anybody can pick up a pen. And I'm analyzing for you. You said 9 banks make 59 billion.
Nigeria Interbank.
What are you analyzing?
He said 9 banks make 59 billion from
NIBSS.
Yes.
Is an organization that is the Nigeria Interbank. It's like an interswitch.
Yes.
Where money, the transfers, and all of those things are. This is a report that they brought out into the public space.
Okay, gentlemen, let us hold that thought.
That the government lost.
On a quick break.
Collected.
We need to go on a quick break.
That business is being generated.
It's simple. What are you
Let's go on
the bank took it.
We'll be back.
What are you arguing?
We're coming back.
Right.
Now we are back. You know, it's really very hot in the studio. I still have Chief Larry and Alistair Wilcox in the studio, and we keep educating and enlightening,
we need to do
Nigerians and all of that. Now, my position is that it's okay. It's crossfire. And you have every right to differ in opinion, and I understand that very perfectly. Now, we have a report, and it is based on that report that Chief Larry has made his submission. You seem to have a contrary opinion, Mr. Alistair. It is expected that you defend it with maybe something in the public domain, or facts that you have, or another form of analysis, that you want to bring on, because I want to really create a balance between this particular issue.
That report is not accurate. I don't know who gave that report. Literally speaking, you don't even.
Do you want me to read it out for
you have read
reference?
You have read it. You have read it.
Okay.
You are saying government losses. That means government has not collect that money. And anybody who is saying that government loses means government has not collected that money. And that is clear. And so anybody to say that government is in government coffers and government is not accounting for it, the potential of increasing revenue is always there.
But Chief Larry said loses.
No.
That was what he said.
No.
That we are losing. That was what he said.
No. That was what he said.
That is what I.
Please. At the end of the day, replace. At the end of the day, he said the government had and government is mismanaging.
TSA has not been audited.
He said government is mismanaging what they had.
Excuse me.
And I'm telling you that is impossible, because there is no way that the newly introduced stamp duty of 50 naira per transaction on current account, on every deposit on current account, not withdrawal, deposit on current account, can attract. Go and find the number of deposits on current accounts in Nigeria and multiply that by 50 naira.
How would you be able to get that
data? And if you can get a trillion.
How would you be able to get
How did they get that data? The person that put that, how did they get that data?
But it is a function of the amount of money in those current accounts.
It's not a function. It is just a fixed. It's a fixed charge. It's
on every transaction.
It does not fluctuate.
Every deposit
transaction. Yes, it does not fluctuate. Even before now, Nigerians were paying stamp duty on checkbooks. Yeah. On checkbooks. If you see a checkbook, there's a stamp duty column. On checkbooks, have we generated 1 trillion? Do you know what's a trillion?
Okay, Chief Larry.
Let's be factual.
No, okay. I allow you to talk. Let's take this talk so that we can move on.
I want you, please, for clarity's sake, give me the name of that agency that gave us that report.
The report was actually put out by NIBS, that's their short form, but it means Nigeria Interbank Settlement System, against the School of Banking Owners, SBH, an institution registered by the Nigerian Copyright Commission. SBH is spearheading the recovery and remittance of the fund into the federal government account by sharing the federal government, and then for sharing by the federal government to other 36 states.
So when we argue, under which premise are we arguing? I'm talking about my fellow guest here. You understand? He's not a banker, for God's sake.
He's a chartered accountant.
He's an accountant. Excuse me, I'm coming. I know what I'm saying.
Okay.
Now, the people that has the responsibility of giving us records based on facts at their disposal, authorized by law, authorized by government, working with government, has given us figures. And he is arguing, telling you that it's not possible. How?
And NIBS actually said that they actually bring in 160 billion every day.
So what are we saying?
In only 5 states.
So I think I don't.
Just going by the report.
See, let us going by the report.
Gentlemen.
Let us go to another.
160 billion what?
The facts are there.
160 billion what?
I don't need to argue. What are you arguing about?
160 billion naira.
Okay,
we don't need to argue about this. It doesn't make sense arguing.
150 billion naira in stamp duty.
From 5 states.
In stamp duty.
The figures. This is Nigeria. This is Nigeria. Anything can happen.
This is a government agency.
Go and do an in-depth study of that.
You don't need it.
Just like
this man rejected what Kale said. He's not accepting what
Kale is the statistician.
He's rejecting what Kale said. He's accepting what Nibi said. Because he wants to paint the government in black.
Which government are you promoting, sir?
The government has money and I government
check.
That's what he said.
Let's go to
I have my rights
to make my own contribution.
And we also have the right to educate the public.
What are you educating? Look at we have the right to educate the public rightly. What are you educating?
Not pick figure from here and there and begin to brandish.
Thank you, gentlemen, for your thoughts.
We need to educate the public rightly.
Let's move on here.
Let's move on.
Let's move on here, gentlemen.
I think he has been answered.
I mean, I don't, because of time, we may not really have enough time, but we can scratch the surface because tomorrow we'll be discussing it in details.
Yes.
Now let's talk about MASOP. Let's talk about iPod. I mean, iPod. Let's talk about the agitations in the southeast of Nigeria. Now we have had a lot in the northeastern part of Nigeria. We have had all of these issues and all of that, and I'm beginning to wonder. The state of the nation was not this heated up when Boko Haram insurgency has been ravaging, the northern part of Nigeria. But a bit of agitation started in the southeast, and we have been hearing about a lot of operations, being launched by the security agencies in Nigeria. We have had Operation Alligator Bite. We have had Operation Python Dance, and all of those things and stuff. Peradventure, issues are beginning to, a lot of people are beginning to ask questions, what is happening in the southeast of Nigeria? People die almost every day. We still have a lot of insurgency going on. The herdsmen are still killing. I mean, the last time we have a report in Benue State, they killed 19 people for one person. And it's really becoming an...
Let's not also forget that IPOB has also constituted its own secret service agency, and which is also raising a lot of questions, the legitimacy of that, and also the legitimacy of the actions by the Nigerian military. So, I mean, these are side-by-side issues.
Let's talk about security. What is happening? Security in Nigeria vis-a-vis occurrences and happenings and circumstances in the southeast of Nigeria.
In your thoughts?
Well, my views may not be very popular, but I stand by my views.
Okay.
I have very, very responsible and high, energetic and committed friends from the southeast. Very, very good friends. I visit the southeast a lot.
Mr. Chiflari is one of them.
Well, I have very good friends from the southeast. Good business associates.
You don't seem to
be... Very responsible people from the southeast who are committed to the cause of this country and want to maintain the integrity and unity of this country.
They don't believe in the agitation.
Most of my quality friends, and they're in large numbers, do not even support the madness going on there. Because what is going on there, it was just a political jobber. A political jobber that just woke up one day, and because he felt that they've lost out of the political arrangement, begins to drag down the entire responsible and hardworking people of the southeast into something that that most of the people that are fighting don't even understand. Don't understand. Just the euphoria of his political jobbing, aided by two other renegades from the southwest here that are fueling the whole thing. And the unfortunate aspect of it is the fact that most people from the southeast have refused to read between the lines, as to where this character really is coming from.
But there are a lot of persons also from the southeast, to add to that, who also are against the actions by IPOB.
That's what I'm saying. I said I have very responsible and high net worth friends across the southeast that we all know, we all discuss and know how best to run a country and how best to run an agitation. So if anybody chooses, out of political jobbing, to want to constitute himself as a problem to the society, there is no government that will allow insurrection. We already have one in our hands that we are dealing with. That if the past government has dealt with it, what we have dealt, we will not become a monster. So if today we made mistake in the past and allow Boko Haram to fetter, and then we are having some people again who want to consider themselves into another force.
Are you speaking in support of the counteractions that we have from the federal government today, even if what you are saying that is happening in the southeast is the situation?
No, if you overstep your bounds in terms of legality, then the state has a right to respond. Now, the proportionate of response is what we should be discussing here.
Okay.
I condemn the military for having gone to NUJ, and I said this NUJ building in Umuahia to go and harass journalists. on the account of they're taking your pictures. Everywhere they take pictures, even in war front they take pictures. So who are you not to be taking? Even they take who are you not to be taking your picture? So that is overstepping the bounds, and we know what the junior rank of military does. And I'm happy that the chief of army staff came up and apologized and promised to deal. But in terms of maintaining law and order in the southeast or any other flashpoints, it has happened in the south where I come from, and of course I'm in support of the Nigerian state to maintain law and order for the good governance and for everybody. So if anybody considers himself become a political jobber in the hands of some few renegade elements that have lost out in power and want to be and drag down a whole section of the country, then that person needs to be checked. And the earlier he is checked, the better for the entire system.
Okay, Chief Larry, even up until yesterday, we have a policeman who got killed and a police vehicle, set ablaze in Rivers State. About 36 IPOB members have been arrested, and I think it's going to follow a due course. And in addition to a lot of other things happening in the southeast, what is the state of security?
I think it's rather unfortunate, because I also have responsible people from the South, River State inclusive, people that are wise, people that works with their senses and not with their eyes. I am myself, I don't think I like what happened in River State. And if you look at this IPOB of a thing, it's just that maybe we've had a government that have decided that there's no need for the rule of law. When people are talking about political jobbers, it gets me wondering. Somebody like Wazobia is a question. I don't know whether you have her statement here, but I think she said something. She said it's tragic that you, our president, Muhammad Buhari, have deliberately or inadvertently alienated a segment of the people you lead. It is tragic. That is her word.
But what is she basing? I mean, we need to say why what is informing that statement? What is informing that statement? What
informed it is this. Yes. Let me go further. He said it's wrong to punish an entire geopolitical zone because of the action of few. Did that answer your question? Did that answer your question?
Not quite.
Not quite. So what I'm saying in essence is this. It's like I don't know where we are heading as a nation.
Chief Larry, do you believe in the counteractions of the federal government against insurgency and group and regrouping of people in the southeast of Nigeria?
What do you mean by group or regroup? I'm answering your question.
IPOB, MASSOB,
excuse me.
IPOB, MASSOB, and the likes. We have a situation in Abia State as we speak.
Because of the movement of the military.
Okay, so let's take it from another.
Don't the military have a right to go anywhere in the country?
You allowed him. Excuse me.
I asked him questions while he was answering.
Yes. What I'm saying in essence is this. You have a group of people that are agitating. You understand?
Correct.
They've been making pronouncements. And let's not forget, the man in the picture, Ndande Kanu, as of today, the constitutional authority is taking its course on him. He has gone to court. He was jailed for almost 2 years. Different courts has made pronouncements that the government disobeyed, and later they agreed, and this man is on bail.
Okay,
excuse me. Don't
just quickly land on your point.
So he is on bail now. I thought wisdom, if we have as a people, if the people in authority has that with them, you're supposed to allow that court processes that you have subjected this young man to.
But they gave him bail conditions.
They gave him bail, and it's left for the court to decide.
They gave him bail conditions which he has breached.
You are not the court.
Okay.
It's in the public domain. Just like you spoke. We spoke about the report on stamp duty. It's in the public domain.
What I'm saying, yes. What is in the public domain you are talking about?
I'm saying that the bail conditions are out there.
A court gave him bail conditions.
Exactly.
And if he floors it,
yes,
allow the court process You don't have any rights.
Chief Larry.
You don't have any rights. Our leader has no rights.
Chief Larry, I need to ask you this question now because you've made your point.
Yes.
Now, despite the fact, in your opinion, the court alone has the right to decide.
Because you have taken the young man to the court.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
IPOB, by the leader, Nnamdi Kanu, has also constituted a military secret.
What do you call? No, I disagree. You made the comment before.
Can I finish my question? Yeah. Thank you. He has constituted a secret service which is against the laws of Nigeria and other international declarations and treaties. Now, reports and individuals, citizens of Nigeria, have been reporting the activities of harassment by members of IPOB. There has been video evidences, pictorial evidences showing mass harassment by members of IPOB. Now, don't you think the Nigerian army, starting with its legal constitutional responsibilities to maintain law and order in the territory called Nigeria, should step in? Are you a member of IPOB? Do you believe in ideals of IPOB?
Are you true?
I am done. So answer all these questions.
Let me tell you something. When you say Nnamdi Kanu has constituted a secret service, what do you call secret service?
But they did show there is a video.
About
exactly.
What is
a military information?
What
videos
information?
of
You know their
being
barracks?
constituted.
And then we are
information.
Excuse me.
They have a uniform.
What I saw is they wore polo, that blue polo with that pants.
What I saw, they wore uniforms.
It was labeled. It has a name.
Yes.
How many uniforms do you have in Lagos here?
But the one we saw with IPOB guys is...
Exactly.
Is that military uniform? Let me ask you that. Let me ask you the same question. Is that a military uniform? Answer Nigerians.
That could be the Biafran military uniform. Because coming from Nnamdi Kanu and sources of IPOB, coming from sources of IPOB, they have labeled the Biafran Secret Service. So the rest of Nigerians take it that way.
Can I come in? No, I've not answered your question. Let me tell you something.
It has been labeled by IPOB members as the Biafran Secret Service. So why are you trying to say otherwise when those who constituted that secret service have labeled it so?
And what happened?
So the issue, now answer the question. Isn't it right for the Nigerian military to
go and do what?
When you have innocent Nigerians, of course they have. When you have innocent Nigerians being harassed, you cannot call that stupid. Now you have other innocent Nigerians being harassed. So should the military step in or not for peace?
You have a chief security officer of the state, which is the governor. Okay. Can you show me anywhere, any governor from the southeast? Because we must be very, very careful. Today it's happening in the southeast. Tomorrow it could be anywhere. I am aware that some certain people gave a threat to some certain people in the same Nigeria that they should leave their zone. And what happened? The governor of the state gave a command to the military, to the police, to arrest these guys. And what happened? A governor, in the person of the governor of Borno State, came and intervened. And what happened? That of Kaduna State too also. Yes, they had a solution. Now, just last week, Southeast governors that's supposed to be the chief security officers of the states has a meeting with this young man, and they had a communique, a press release, widely published, that the government needs to leave them. I have not seen any governor from the southeast that called for a military assistance from the federal government. Okay. I have not seen or heard anybody, I'm from the southeast, so I am not an outsider here. I just came back last 2 weeks.
What of the military deployment that we had in Imo State?
That is the worst thing we are seeing.
That we had in Imo State. Called for by the governor.
Which military deployment are you talking about?
Can I come in here, please?
Because we really don't have.
Yeah, we don't have time. So I'm always looking at the whole thing. But no,
30 seconds,
the fact is, you see, when we come on air, we say we like the truth. And then when the truth tells us, we begin to bend it.
To enjoy more of these our Ogbonge videos when you just watch, press this button to subscribe on top of our YouTube page. You go love am.